Hello everyone and welcome back to another old railway walk video. I'm back on the Isle of Wight for this one and I'm doing the former Cowes at Newport Railway. Closed in the 1960s, opening in 1862 with various stations along the route. Between Cowes and Newport there were the three intermediate stations, and one of them, that was a private station basically for the wharf halfway along the route. So right now I'm going to go towards where Cowes is. There used to be a station. It's now occupied with an M&S small superstore. And then you've got the tunnel leaving Cowes towards Mill Hill Station, Medina Wharf Station, Cement Works Station, and then towards Newport itself. So let's get to the beginning of this railway walk and I'll see you at Cowes. The network of railways, once covering most corners of the Isle of Wight, are now almost gone and consigned to history apart from the steam railway and the running line between Ryde and Shanklin. In previous videos I've covered the line from Shanklin to Ventnor, had a look at St Lawrence Tunnel, and also followed the route from Newport down to Merston and on towards Sandown. But this time I'm going to begin at Cowes and follow the former Isle of Wight Central line, going southwards towards Newport. We'll get to see the site of the former Cowes station. Then it was Mill Hill Station, where we had Cowes Tunnel opening out into the station area. There was then Medina Wharf Station, where there was sidings and also a wharf that unloaded and loaded trains from the mainland and also freight and goods, before pushing on to a station beside the cement works before our trackbed disappears on the approach to Newport Town Centre. In the video I've also slipped in a few clips from the recent visit to the Isle of Wight Steam Railway to give an indication of what this line would have once looked like operational. So we begin at the site of Cowes Station. Now this had 3 platforms and its pre-grouping was the Cowes and Newport Railway between 1862 and 1887 before being renamed to the Isle of Wight Central Railway right through till 1923. The route was operated by the Southern Railway until 1948, when it was the Southern region of British Railways, until the 21st of February 1966. When the line and station was closed. In this map from the early 1900s you can just about make out where the trajectory of the railway line went. We've got Cowes Station up here and the line curves around until it hits the straight of the 208 yard length tunnel before bursting out at the bottom of the map at Mill Hill Station, where we're off to in a little while. At the site of the station, well, it's now an M&S food hall, but there was once 3 platforms just here. You can also see it's the bus turning circle. But the railway, after leaving Cowes Station, eventually would dip under the 200 plus yard long Cowes Tunnel, also known as Mill Hill Tunnel. So that's what I'm going to do. We lose the trackbed moving away from Cowes Station and we've got to pick it up right where Mill Hill Station was. And around the back of M&S is just here, look, and you've got to imagine the trackbed curved around. It went all the way around under there over where it hit the tunnel. And when you get out the other end of the tunnel, it bursts you straight out into Mill Hill Station. The trackbed, I can't access it at all before Mill Hill Station, so I'm going to leave Cowes behind, the former Cowes Station site, and push on down towards Mill Hill, and hopefully we'll see the portal of that tunnel. And if I'm correct, the trackbed is down there, and that is looking above the old tunnel portal going out towards Mill Hill Station, which was just about where that house is there. I mean, there is a little gap, look, we can just see through it, but you can't actually see anything. I didn't bring a torch with me because I didn't intend to go in here, so it's just extra luggage to bring around, but I'll put you some photos on and show you what it does look like inside there. Now, this tunnel last saw use in 1966, and it is indeed a section of the platform on the right hand side as you come out of the tunnel and look at Mill Hill Station. The tunnel was later in life used as a rifle range for a rifle club. I believe it's not used at all for absolutely anything now, and this is an image of what the portal looks like at the Cowes end on the approach to the former Cowes Station. But after leaving Cowes Station, curving around underground, it appeared just here. You can see the track bed. It has been filled in, look, there's a bit of a step down and then it levels off. That would be Mill Hill Station, just there where those houses are, which closed back in 1966. Now, I'm not sure if these are actual remains of platforms. I'd be surprised if there were anything else, to be honest, or was it just put in for the park, but the depth of it, quite possibly so. It looks like that concrete section has been there a very long time, although it wouldn't have been concrete when it was built, but the rest of it completely filled in, look. It's a little bit of a park for you just to sit on a bench now, so at least this bit has been left. Be curious to know how often they go in there. Looks like it's one I'm never going to get in, but that doesn't matter. We've still seen it and we're going to enjoy the walk as we push on towards Newport. Mill Hill Railway Station had a single platform, and this opened in 1871 right next to the 208-yard long tunnel. It had a beautiful curved platform, and the sweep is absolutely stunning, and the station looked like an absolute beauty back in the day when it was operational. The station did close on the 21st of February 1966. Slightly infilled, it now forms part of the park that I'm stood in right now. Upon leaving the tunnel and Mill Hill Station behind, I have to walk along what is Arctic Road. That's what I'm on now for about 10 minutes. And the route from that point onwards is pretty much trackbed uninterrupted right through to the destination of Newport. Right, here we go then. This is where we pick up the trackbed again, leaving Arctic Road behind down there. And we've got a bit of a map here, look. So this is what we're doing today, only just this little bit here, Cowes, Medina Riverside and Newport. We've obviously gone through Mill Hill Station, and there's also a cement works station. I did that line last year, so there's plenty to look at what I've already done on the Isle of Wight last year if you want to look at that. There's the remains of something just there, look, that white post. Next station was just a little way up here, Medina Wharf Railway Station. It had a single platform. There's a huge wharf down there, pretty much the entire stretch going up towards Newport. That opened in 1896 and closed in 1966, along with the other stations along this route. Not expecting to find any remains of this, but I have got some photos for you to look at, and we'll look at maps too, so you can see where the wharf mixed in with all this, because I believe there was additional sidings coming on the line too. Rail Map Online gives us a rough indication of where the junction once was, and also where the wharf was and all of the sidings. The line on the right hand side goes out to where the wharf was. Either this line is marked off in the wrong place, or where the wharf has been deconstructed slightly and the riverbed is actually slightly wider. We've got the main line going up to Cowes and down towards Newport just here. If we zoom in a little bit and look at this older map, you can see where the wharf was. It's this straight section just here, look, right next to the river, and the main line off to the left going top to bottom. This fine image gives us an indication of what the line looked like on the approach to Medina Wharf Station, and also the wharf too on the approach from Cowes. This image shows us that tiny little platform. It's such a small wooden affair, isn't it? It'd probably take one carriage, and it's got that lonely lamppost right in the middle. You've got some of the wharf equipment showing on the right hand side. Again, you can see that equipment on the left hand side of this photograph, but a clearer view of around about half a dozen or so sidings curving around to the wharf beside the river. And this shows an image of the main line on the left hand side and a junction of lines that once served the wharf, getting ready for being taken away as the track is now sadly being lifted. Nice little relic remains just there, look. Old post, still got tension and cables attached to that. As you can tell, it's autumn. It's the last week of October. I think it's the 28th of October. Yeah, because Halloween's on Thursday. Now there was a junction just here. I think it may be coming down just there and it's going to meet up around about here. That went into the wharf, and it kind of like, if this is here, it shot off at that sort of angle and went right out to the water's edge. Something just down there, look, concrete sections belonging to something, but that looks quite flat, so I wonder if that, it looks like it is coming down, so I think the junction is probably just a tad bit further up. Station wasn't that far, just down there. It's very straight going forward now. Look at it, you just, I don't know how far you can see, but I think that's about a mile or so of just straight track bed. Really good surface. If you're going to come and visit this and use it, it's lovely. Look at it, walking, cycling, wheelchairs, whatnot. Get yourself on it if you're coming for a bit of a holiday. If you want to walk one way, get the #1 bus in either direction to get you back to where you began. So where I mentioned the junction previously, it's all flattened and levelled off just here. So I think we're around about just there where it come off. It's an old milepost just through there, look. Old piece of rail being used, as they often are. Just past the milepost, look, there's a little path that comes down here. It may take us to the harbour. I'm just intrigued to have a little look. Oh yeah, so it does open out quite nicely, look. This is alright, isn't it? Lots of boats, yachts, just there. I'm probably about a third of the way along the route towards Newport. Just walk to the end, I think. Might put the drone up and then we'll push on. Lots of old concrete cable carriers along here, look. See them just about up there, look. 1, 2, lying down, and then a few there and there. I'll keep an eye out for them as we proceed southwards towards Newport. Yeah, look, they really do go on for a substantial distance. That's just lovely, isn't it? Very still. Still quite dull though. There's a culvert just there where water is passing below the track bed. If I stand this side, you can see it just there. You may just make out the water flowing out of the other side, look. Cement Works station is next, and that is the final station before we get to where Newport station was. That had a single platform. It was a public station, but principally it was used by the cement workers and the staff that worked at the cement works right next door. Old little overbridge just there, so that's going to be kind of a ditch, isn't it? Looks like it's been recently rebuilt up with red brick, and the steel sides probably a decade or two old, aren't they? although the brickwork on that side looks more original compared to that side. And quite a descent going down now. I don't know if you really, it looks like you can just make it out. It is going down in quite a dip. Whether it was built like that or that's just a natural, to be honest, it looks like that's going down the dip. I think I'm on the summit of a kind of a hill, a very, very slight hill. Cable carriers have popped on to the other side. Seems to be a bit different to what you'd normally see, look, as if it's sunk in like a upside down inverted arch. The cables must have ran across the top. But finally I'm off that straight section. What a long time ago that was, that I said there's a really straight section going forward. Got to be at least a mile or so, that one. It's kinking slightly to the left still. Can't quite see around that corner. We're not far from the cement works and where the former station was. So the cement works is right there, quite a modern construction, isn't it? You've just seen it from above, but obviously it wouldn't have been like that when the station was open. The station would have been right here, Cement Mill Station, and primarily used for the workforce going into there, either from Newport or coming down from Cowes where we began this railway walk. It closed with the rest of the line, unfortunately, and the single platform of Cement Mill Station was no more. Looking at this overhead image, you can see where the cement works once stood back in the day of operation, where the railway was, the pink line being the main line. Now notice the turquoise line, that would have been some kind of internal railway, a small narrow gauge industrial line, but there also appears to be a crossing somewhere. Note the two little pinky purple lines, the same colour as our railway line, which one of them appears to go below the main railway line and onto that grassy area just on the left. Does anyone know what this was for? This is a beautiful one, isn't it? The station looks about the same length as the previous station at Medina Wharf, probably suitable for a single carriage, a train approaching, a couple of workmen waiting to get on board, maybe after a shift at the cement works. You can also see the branch coming away from the main line going into the cement works, but this one I believe is taken from the other side of that track work that we've just been looking at, the siding going into the cement works, but it's all overgrown. Look, nothing's been in there for a substantial amount of time, and in this little bit of video we will in fact just shoot past the junction into the cement works. Quite a substantial building, isn't it? Right, pushing forward, looks like we may be going over a little bridge. And that's ironic, to be honest. I was just thinking before, we've got cement mills, we've not been under any bridges whatsoever. And I can't see any going forward. Maybe we won't. I don't think I've ever known that before on one of these walks. Now initially there were disputes regarding where this railway was going to be placed, where the cement works was alongside. And when the railway opened in 1862, it rumbled on for quite some time, this dispute about the land around. Eventually it took until 1880 for this dispute to be completely settled and put to bed. This is what I'm looking at now. Look, so it's not the original bridge clearly, but at least they've replaced it. It's kind of like a marshy, reedy floodland down there, and this side a little bit of water, isn't there? I think we could be looking at the original supports though, with this newer construction built on top. Yeah, different, completely different colour, isn't there? So that's going to be the original structure down there and all the other supports along. And I was rather pleased to come across this photograph by Mr. A. Blackburn. Fantastic. This is 1966. It's showing a working going along the railway line with the original base of the bridge. Fantastic that this photograph has been taken and recorded for future generations to see. Still got telegraph wires following the route as well, or electrical cables. They're going to be telegraph, aren't they? Because there's pylons back there going along for electricity. Let's see if I can get a clear shot of a, oh, there's one, post going up. I don't think that post's that old, to be honest. It's a lovely view over there, isn't it? I think we're only about half a mile out of Newport now. It's a very narrow concrete path, so you have to be very aware of what's going on around you walking down here. I keep checking forward and behind for cyclists because you see it's not the normal width. That's quite narrow. It's still adequate, but not quite what I'm used to. Now, on the approach to Newport, there was 2 stations, and one of them was the terminus of the freshwater line that shot off in a westerly direction. But the main one that we'd be going into now if we was on a train would be the other Newport station, where you could then get a service off to places such as Ryde, Shanklin, Sandown and Ventnor too. And Newport Station was opened in 1862 with opening of the Cowes and Newport Railway, but it was made even bigger in 1875 when the lines to Ryde and Ventnor were open, and it did in fact consist of 3 platforms, eventually closing in April 1966 to goods traffic and February of the same year to passengers. It is indeed astonishing to imagine what infrastructure was once in Newport, 2 railway stations and the viaducts, with very little trace of any of it today. So sadly now I'm approaching the end of the line. Newport stations were probably about just under 1/4 mile up there, but for now this is it. If you've enjoyed this walk and follow me along the Cowes to Newport Railway, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment below. I've done other walks on the Isle of Wight in the past year or so. I'll put a couple of them in the coming up next section right at the end of this very video. There's also a section dedicated just to the Isle of Wight if you want to click through the categories of the videos. See you in the very next one. Goodbye for now. As always, social medias are popping up below. I'd love you to follow me on those, especially Facebook. That is the primary location for anything of interest. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.